Call to order the meeting for City of Austin Planning and Zoning Commission for Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. Before we get started, I'd just like to say welcome to our newest commissioner, Commissioner Peter Bartley. Welcome.
Thank you.
Commission.
Happy to be here.
Glad to have you. So before we get on to the items of business, we need to approve the minutes from our last meeting, which was Tuesday, March 12th. Does anyone have any corrections or changes to those minutes as written? If not, could I please get a motion and a second to approve those minutes as written?
So moved.
Thank you.
I second.
All right, so we have a motion from Commissioner Lindberg and a second from Commissioner Duffy to approve the minutes from March 12th as written. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries 6-0. Those minutes are approved. So first up, we have an open public hearing to consider a petition from Turtle Creek Construction at 3000 15th Avenue Southwest for a variance from the 12.5-foot setback requirement to build a townhome setback 9.5 feet from the east property line. Ms. Wallace, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Before we actually address that matter, I wanted to just let the audience know. Yeah, the audience know that if you're here on the Cresthaven matter, that petition was withdrawn, or that application was withdrawn. Okay. All right. Let's see. I just got to scroll down here. All right. So there's an application from Turtle Creek Construction to build a new twin home at 3000 15th Avenue Southwest. The area is currently zoned R1 single family residential, as well as the surrounding land uses. The petitioner is asking for a corner yard setback variance of 3 feet. The city code requires corner yard setbacks of 12.5 feet. The design of the twin home requires a 9.5 foot setback, which would require a 3 foot variance again. Some of the history of this area: in 2005, the applicant was granted a conditional use permit to add 28 twin homes to the Meadows, which is the same subdivision, which allowed the common wall to have a 0 lot line. So you'll see, I'll pull up the map, but you'll see that they are joined with a common wall. However, all other setback requirements were to be maintained. I looked at other buildings in the neighborhood, and let's see, I'll just pull it up here. So this is the lot that we're talking about that's outlined in light blue, and the twin home would look similar to the others in this area, the twin home that is proposed. And then these are the others that were added around 2005. These are this one and let's see, this one are the only two other lots that would have the corner lot setback. They did not meet the 12.5 foot setback. They were permitted with the setbacks of, let me pull that up here. I think it said that on here. 7 foot side yard setback on one. And then, let's see. I think it says 10 foot. Yeah, it's 0 lot on the center and then 10 foot. That's for the 1605. So for some reason, I don't know if there was I don't know why, but those two did not meet our side yard setbacks. I did not get any complaints, and we have not had any issues despite that error. Let's go back again. So the let's see. So this is a recommendation to City Council. The Planning Commission must determine whether the variance requested meets the statutory requirements for granting a variance, which are that the variance is in harmony with the general purposes and intent of the zoning code. The variance is consistent with the comprehensive plan. The applicant has established that there are practical difficulties in complying with the provision and that the property owner proposes to use the property in a reasonable manner not permitted by the provision. The plight of the landowner is due to circumstances unique to the property, not created by the landowner. The variance will not permit any use that is not allowed in the zoning district where the affected land is located, and the variance will not alter the essential character of the surrounding area. You can approve, deny, you can recommend approval, denial, or approval with conditions. Do you have any questions?
Commissioners, any questions for Holly? All right, this is an open public hearing, so if any of you are here to address the commission on this request, come to the podium. Please state your name and your address for the record.
My name is Robert Getz. We just live one unit to the west of this property. And to our knowledge, neither we nor any of the other association members have any objection to the variance, so.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? All right, commissioners, anybody ready to make a motion?
Yeah, I'd move that we recommend to council the approval of this setback from 12.5 to 9.5 feet. It's a dead-end street. There's not hardly any traffic there. It seems pretty, I don't see where there could be any real problems there.
All right, thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, thanks, Gina. All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Lindberg and a second from Commissioner Norman to recommend to council to approve the request for the variance for a 9.5-foot setback versus the 12.5-foot requirement. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion carries 6-0. Okay, next we have a.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Yeah, you guys don't have to
You
stay.
wait. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
We can leave?
Yes, yep. We have a sign variance or sign appeal next.
Okay.
If you want to.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Thanks for your input.
Appreciate the input.
Yeah, oh, so final decision will be by council on Monday.
Yeah, I figured.
Okay.
All right, next we have another open public hearing to consider a petition from Hormel Foods Corporation for a sign appeal all over the corporate campus and the plant. Holly?
Yeah, so this is an application from Shad Tracy Signs on behalf of Hormel Foods to add 7 signs at multiple sites at their corporate and corporate offices. I actually, you know what? I missed an area downtown. That would be B2, but it's falls under this. It does fall under. All right, I have the area, the zoning, current land use and zoning for the first 6 signs, which is RO. The surrounding areas are single-family districts and industrial south across I-90. The applicant wishes to add 7 signs at various Hormel Food Corporation locations. The additions of the signs exceed the number of allowed and they don't qualify as directional because they're over 4 square feet in area and include the company name and or logo. The requirements for the signs allowed in any district, note the directional sign requirements again. They did not meet those. The B2 and B3 zones allow one freestanding sign and one wall sign. The locations where these signs are proposed already have multiple signs. So these would be in addition to what they what are already permitted. Did you get a pretty good idea of where they want to locate them based on the site map? Okay. Okay. And then there were, in your packet, it'll have the dimensions and the mock-up of where it would be located.
So this is a mock-up of the sign?
Yeah, yeah.
So you can see there's another sign already here. This is where you would drive down to the
Yeah.
guard shed. So, and then there's of course the larger.
It's getting
Hormel sign
confusing
in
there
that
where
area.
there's people are keep coming in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So this announces corporate office north main entrance, and then adds some additional information. Sign 1. Sign 2 indicates the cafe deliveries, door 23. Sign 3 indicates the west dock, door 18, and some information to open the gate. Sign 4, west dock, door 18, with some additional information about how to not get stuck in that location, I suppose.
Holly?
Yes.
Just for my own educational, I guess, reasons, signs 5 and 4 have been, they're like on the building inside the fenced-in area, so is there a reason? Is that something normally that we,
Such a good,
I'm in there all the time, so.
it's a good
Yeah,
question.
it's a good question. I'm not sure if they're replacing them, honestly, or they're adding. I was under the impression that they were adding these signs.
Yeah, they already have some signs there, but I just didn't know, since it's, I wouldn't consider them to be in the public view, but
I think they're adding and replacing, because a lot of these are adding some of the informative stuff,
Yeah, phone
like truck
numbers.
heights,
Right.
restrictions and stuff like that. So
Sure.
just clarifying a lot of stuff.
I believe there is one sign on a fence that they are replacing, but I didn't think it was that. I thought it was this one. But I didn't clarify.
I mean, that one right there, that's,
Right.
there's one of those signs that's in the back of the corporate office, and it can't be seen by the public anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's another issue, but signs are intended to face the public right of way. So not only are they exceeding the number of signs allowed, but they do not face the public right of way.
I know from my own experience, when I was working for Hormel, I traveled a lot to all the different facilities, different plants, warehouses, offices, and I know these signs are invaluable when you're traveling. You're trying to find, there's always multiple gates and driveways and entrances, and these are really clarify a lot of information for people driving around trying to find these different locations, so they're certainly helpful. They certainly serve a purpose.
Yeah, they did work on this sign package for a while. It was presented to me, and then I asked for some additional information with the site plan. I guess I had believed that they were new signs, not replacing or adding to similar signs. So let's see, I'm not sure where we're at. So sign 4, sign 5 indicates the East Dock, door 11. Sign 6, the R&D Innovation Center. I did look to see if we had any regulations on mounting the sign on the fence, and there wasn't anything prohibiting that. And then this one is located at the corporate south.
Looks like that one's even on inside the fence, right?
It looks like it, yeah.
And I think that's probably the biggest one too, isn't it? 4 foot.
I think they're just
Not
trying
very
to get above the wrought iron, because it'll have to be behind, because the fence goes right up to the sidewalk. I mean, like you were saying in some of your comments, these are fairly low key advertisements or signs compared to what we typically see to identify our businesses in the community. And they do seem to have specific purpose for each area where they're indicated. We do not send out notices for sign appeals, so there are no comments on this particular request.
No. No.
This is a straight up approval or denial by us, right?
Yeah, I just want to make one comment here because I included the B2 and B3 zone information here, which would apply to the corporate south. And then the RO, I just want to add that that's similar. Schedule 3 RO and B1 zones, 1 or 2C, total area of freestanding signs shall not exceed. Okay, that's not right. In no case shall more than 1 sign per building per frontage be permitted. I suppose you could argue it's not really frontage, although
I think what I would say is that in the RO district, we assume that there's going to be a mixture of residential properties and commercial properties, and we don't want a clutter of a bunch of unnecessary commercial advertising and, you know, brightly lit signs and things of that nature. So usually we kind of restrict the number of signs, location of signs, and things like that out of respect to the neighborhood. In this location, it doesn't seem that there would be a neighborhood. You're talking corporate south for this? Or
this
corporate north?
corporate north has
Okay.
the 6 signs.
Right, but as far as,
Only one that you would really see from the
as far as
road.
an RO district?
Yeah.
Is it
yeah.
corporate
Yep,
north or
yep,
corporate
that's
south?
corporate north. Yeah.
Okay, so corporate north has those neighboring residential properties, and you would just have to think if these signs are the kinds of signs that would be cluttery or distracting or take away from that sort of residential office balance that we try to strike in an RO. We wouldn't want a billboard sign there, for instance.
I'll go through them one more time. So this one would be visible from the road. Actually, I'll just pull up the site.
I would also say I don't think that using a logo on one of these signs is necessarily perceived as being advertisement.
I agree too.
And at Mayo Clinic Health Systems, they have directional signs in their parking lot. Each one has the logo. It just helps the community identify the sign with the thing they're looking for. You know, if it was selling a product or something, I would have a different opinion, but these seem to be directional signs to me.
Yeah, just our code says no advertisement of any kind, so. Okay, here we go. So sign 1 is located here, which would be pretty visible. Sign 2, sign 3, sign 4 is set in a little bit. Sign 5 behind the building. And sign 7. Did I miss sign 6? Or 5, 6. All right, so we do have a section in our ordinance called the Sign Code Board of Appeals, which gives some direction for a sign appeal. The Planning Commission will make a recommendation to the Board of Appeals, otherwise known as City Council, based on the following standards. There are no exceptional or extraordinary circumstances applicable to the property. Use that do not apply generally to other property in the same vicinity and zoning district. Or there are exceptional or extraordinary circumstances. That the variance is necessary for the preservation and enjoyment of a substantial property right possessed by other properties in the same vicinity and zone, but which is denied to the property in question. That the strict application of the ordinance would constitute an undue hardship, and granting of the variance would not be materially detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to the property or improvements in the vicinity or zone which the property is located. Of course, this area is a little unusual, as Mr. Byram noted, as there's several different uses that wouldn't be similarly treated.
So this is a recommendation to council then?
Yes, this is a recommendation to council. You can make a recommendation for approval, denial, or approval with conditions.
Great, any questions, commissioners? We want to queue up a motion?
I make a motion to approve it as stated
All right,
for a recommendation to city council.
thank you.
I'll second.
Great, thanks, Melissa. All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Duffy and a second from Commissioner Swenson to recommend to council to approve the variance for the signs as stated in the request. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 All opposed, no. Motion carries 6-0. Car-oriented uses.
Yeah, I only got one response back on that. So I think I'll wait and see if I can get any more feedback from the rest of the commissioners. It's not going to be, whatever you give back to me isn't necessarily going to be what we ultimately decide, so don't worry about that. I just want your impressions as planning commissioners about how you think these uses might fit into various neighborhoods. Let's see. Down there. There we go.
Holly, can you just give us just a little bit of overview, just so to
Refresher?
refresh our memories on what we're talking about here, please?
Yeah. So we did an update to our zoning code a couple of years ago, and we ended up having a very broad category for automotive uses, which was basically commercial, retail, those kinds of things. And it seemed like not all these things fit really well under that broad category.
We're not just talking about sales lots, we're talking about people that work on automobiles or,
Yeah, I mean, I put under this key 1 through 8, those were what we had prior. Those were the categories we had in our prior zoning code.
okay,
And so where it says prior, B2 allowed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
okay.
So B2 allowed auto rental and leasing, auto sales, new and used, auto wash detailing, gas stations, vehicle repair, and equipment rental. And then we go into I2 allowed everything, which is our heavy industrial. And then currently, essentially, we allow in an R1 auto sales, auto wash and detailing, and vehicle repair if the business is under 1,500 square foot, which is pretty unusual. And then the R2 allows gas stations. And then I have let's see. Yeah, so the plus means used, allowed as commercial retail and or outdoor sales under our current ordinance. We had some proposals of,
And then you have proposed new
Yeah, so
categories
just-
below.
just proposed, yeah, so like in B2, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, but 1, 3, and 6 would be conditional uses, where they'd have some additional criteria in order to be approved.
Yeah, but those are based on the new proposed categories below. There you go.
Oh, yeah, yep, that's
The
true.
1 through 6, that's a different set of categories.
Yep, that's true. So
okay.
proposed new categories, there would only be 6 instead of 8. And those could be, if you felt that those should be broader or they should be grouped together, that's completely valid. Just looking for feedback. So yeah, proposed would be,
So on the sheets that Holly sent out, that last column, the update current, that's blank on your sheets.
yeah, I can
This is
send that.
mine that she's showing
I
you.
can
Oh,
send that
This is
again.
what I sent to her,
Oh,
so
I see.
that's what it looks like when you're done.
Yeah, so you
Only
just
your numbers are
fill
kind of
in
different.
whatever your proposal
You
is.
fill that out using the
Yeah.
6 criteria below.
I mean, we could, so what I want to do is I just want to narrow it down and then maybe do a little survey or something to see how people feel about it, and then come back and get a formal recommendation, and then take it to council and get it into our ordinance.
Sounds good.
I'll resend the blank one, yeah. And then if you have any questions, just you can give me a call or email me.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then I think we just had, I did want to let you know that we have tentatively chosen a consultant to update our comprehensive plan and our downtown master plan. And we will be this time updating our plans along with Mar County. So if we have some areas where we align, we can address those areas. If we have areas where we have conflict, we can address those areas. Just in a more comprehensive way.
So the county has a comprehensive plan that includes areas
So
within
they
city
haven't
limits?
updated theirs for 20 years, I think.
But theirs covers areas within city limits too?
Yeah, they do have something. So they handle
Really?
solid waste. So if somebody if there's a dump or any kind of solid waste handling, they would, their ordinance would apply. If there's any leftover septic systems in the city, their ordinance would apply. If we also have an area where the city has extended our jurisdiction, 2 miles around the city limits, with regard to subdivision, controls or regulations, but their zoning ordinances still apply. So it's a little hard to navigate sometimes, and so I think that's one area that we definitely want to get some suggestions for. And of course, you know, the reason that we've annexed large numbers of properties over the last 10 years or more has primarily been because of failing septic systems. So just trying to avoid the same mistakes that we've made in the past or things that we didn't anticipate. So just trying to be more proactive, make it easier for residents. The costs get passed on to the property owners, you know, rather than initially on the development, which is kind of a big surprise to people, I think, later down the road. All right. Oh, and then we need to elect a chair and vice chair.
Yep.
Any nominations for chair?
Any volunteers?
Are you okay with continuing as chair?
I don't have a problem doing it.
Okay.
I'm willing if someone else doesn't want to do it. I don't want to be in the way of anybody that wants to do it.
Anybody who
I know you're all
wants
just
be
dying to do
chair?
it too.
You're-
so.
I've done it once, I'm good.
How about we pick two people that didn't show tonight?
Yeah, yeah. That's probably not strategic on my part.
Like we just did this.
Sounds like fun, though.
Yeah. All right, any nominations for chair? We've got a volunteer.
I'll nominate Jay Lutz.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have a chair.
Thanks, Jay.
I think,
I think Jason's already our vice chair, so.
oh, are you vice chair?
Nominate,
Oh, okay.
nominate Jason to continue as vice chair.
Yeah, do you want to continue? Are you okay with that? Okay. Any nominations for vice chair?
I nominate Jason Duffy.
All right.
And I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carried. We have a vice chair. All right, thank you, everyone.
Need a motion to adjourn in a second.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Second.
A motion from Commissioner Swanson and a second from Commissioner Norman to adjourn. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.